Hey, this is Corey Barnes.
And this is Lisa Caperton, and you're listening to Her Turn to Talk.
Before getting ready for this interview, I told Danny, because I hadn't changed out of my pajamas or anything. I was like, I have to go put on a shirt and then and a bra. And then he like comes in here and he was like, you just traded out one softy shirt for another softy shirt. I'm like, yeah, but it's a clean one, and I put a bra on. That was my sense of getting ready. And I'm starting to also have the problem that I know so many other women are, that I feel like I desperately need a haircut. My hair feels way too long, and the gray hair is out of control. And it's not even just about like the color of the gray hair. I feel like when my roots get really long and bad like that, it like changes like the texture and the look. Like I feel like my hair looks dirty all the time. I don't know. That makes sense?
Yes,
Why do you feel blah?
Yes. I think I'm coming off I'm having an emotional hangover. I just had all that upheaval with this paycheck protection loan and trying to accommodate and take care of my employees and make sure I'm making the right decisions. And so that was a lot. It was a lot. It's just been a lot. And it finally came to a head. And now everything has been answered. Everything is in place. My employees are happy with what I offered them. I was so worried that they wouldn't be happy, but they're all happy. And we got that loan. It's a miracle. And now there's nothing to worry about for today. But just after all of that, I'm just having a little emotional hangover. I'm a little tired, even though I slept probably 10 hours last night.
Yeah. Kind of like the adrenal dump of like, raw.
Yeah. And I'm having a little hard time focusing today. And I mean, I wrote a contract yesterday because I'm going to do some contracting work. I'm like, I wrote a contract yesterday. How did that happen? Like literally, I'm just doing these things. And I'm like, Travis, I was talking to Travis about this paycheck protection loan. And I was like, I wonder if we got it because the loan officer, he was really nice. And then I was really nice to him. So maybe he pushed it along. Or maybe it's because my friend's husband is the loan officer. And maybe she said something to him about it. And he pushed it along. And Travis was like, Corey, how about you were so incredibly on top of everything that you got on it as soon as it came out. And you didn't think twice about it. And you made the right decisions. And you pushed everything along. Maybe it was because you did it because you're like this go-getter that just does things. And I was like, oh my God, really? Is that me? I did that? Like, it was hard. And I was like, I did do that, didn't I? And so, I don't know, maybe it's survival mode or something, but it's exhausting. But hey, it's producing results. But man, it's just been, I'm just a little tired. It is a beautiful day, though. I walked a dog, and, I got some vitamin D.
I see. That's a thing. I have to get outside tomorrow. I know that's a big thing, but why I feel blah. I've been watching so much TV. Have you still been not doing your TV during the day?
Yeah. Yep. We just watched the Tales from the Loop on Prime. It was really good.
Oh, what's that about? I haven't heard of that.
Oh, it was excellent. It was similar to Black Mirror, but it was like a whole story drawn out through, 7 episodes and a perspective from different perspectives. And it was just a very interesting time and some kind of, I guess sci-fi, but not sci-fi. I'm not into sci-fi. I don't like to call things sci-fi, but it was just this different perspective, this different world, but it was Earth. So it was very interesting. Highly recommended. Very, very good.
I finished my 3rd paint by number canvas today. That was like my accomplishment of the day.
What is
it? This one's 2 dolphins.
Ooh.
It wasn't my favorite one. Ryan picked this one out. He really wanted this one, and then he barely helped me do it. And I finished. But we still have 2 more. We have a cat one and a dog one to do.
Ooh, I want to
So,
see them. Maybe you can put them on our Facebook page.
I will. They're like super colorful. They're like, they don't look that great if you get too close, but if you look at them from far away, then you're like, oh, that looks really good.
Yes, I've seen these. I've seen these. Maybe I should put my happy birthday balloon away.
No, I like your happy birthday balloon. How was your birthday? Tell all our listeners about your birthday.
Oh my gosh. I had a wonderful birthday. I thought it was going to suck and be lame. But it turned out to be, I think it's going to be one of my top most favorite birthdays of all time.
Really?
Yes. Oh my God, I got a birthday parade. Lisa and Travis put together a surprise birthday parade. I had no idea. And we were in my dad's backyard having a social distancing birthday gathering with my mom, my dad, and Travis and myself. And Travis said, we got to go to the back alley. And so he brought me to it was the driveway.
What did you think when he told you that? Were you like, okay?
I thought it was like having a pizza delivered or something. Oh. I thought it was like having edible arrangements delivered. That's all I could think of. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, so I'm standing in the driveway, and I couldn't really see except for what was in front of me. And then all of a sudden, here comes a blue Forester, and I'm like, "Oh my God, it's Lisa honking the horn!" and Jacobs is waving out the sunroof, and
Ryan had a sign, and I told him, I said, "Hold up the sign," and then I didn't realize till after we had passed by that he was holding it up but on the inside of the window. I was like, no, you should have rolled down the window. Like she could.
I didn't see that. But I was like, oh my God, it's Lisa. I was like, Lisa came. And then another car, it comes, and it's this big Escalade. It's freaking Sylvie. I was like, oh my God, it's dying. And then I started crying. And then I thought it was just Sylvie and Lisa. And then the next thing I know, Kim was there with her dogs. And so there's another car. And then it was Sita came by. And then Mary Jo in her freaking convertible with a huge
I know, she had the perfect car for that.
Oh my God. And it was like, I was just screaming everyone's names and crying, and it was just so good. It was like the best ever. So that
I was so happy.
And we played, oh my God, it was so great. So thank you, Lisa. I'm still ecstatic. I keep telling everybody about it. I was so surprised. I had no clue. And I was so happy because I was having a moment during the gathering because everyone was talking about the coronavirus. And I was like, can you guys please talk about me? It's my birthday. I literally said, can we reminisce on some of the birthdays that I've had in the past? And I was getting upset. And so the moment I saw you girls, I was like, this is the best. And then my parents, and then the rest of my birthday party with my parents and Travis were great. We played a board game, social distancing style. And it was so funny. We all kept laughing because we all had our masks on. And we were looking at each other just with our eyes. And it was
Isn't it weird having your mask on? I go for walks and I smile and wave. And I'm like, they have no idea I'm smiling.
Yeah, I wave now. I try to do this over dramatic waving. And birthday was really great. And then Travis took me on a nice secluded hike where nobody was there. Yeah. So that was great. We knew a secret spot. But it was great. And then we played 3 hours of Jackbox.TV games.
That's been really fun. I'm glad that you've introduced me to those. Those are fun.
Right? They are. They're really fun. That was just great. So thank you. So it turns out that quarantine birthdays, social distancing birthdays.
I know. Yeah.
Actually can be amazing.
Aren't that bad? My son is about to have one, I think.
That's right.
I'm assuming we'll probably still be in this.
Let me know if you need a parade, because
I do want to do one. And he doesn't have a huge crowd of friends that he hangs out with. So I have a few. And so I was going to ask other people, just whoever I can find to just do it and see. Because he's been real upset about, not being able to do anything for his birthday. Really.
Travis and I will bring 2 cars.
Okay. I've seen some people, Amanda, who we've had on here, she had one, did one for her son. And I guess she called the police station, and the police came and had their sirens going and stuff.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's pretty cool.
You should do that.
I could call and ask. Maybe the fire people are fire truck people, firemen.
That would be fun. Oh my gosh, that'd be awesome. And I'm happy to recruit.
Yeah. So I think we'll find some people. And I ordered some, like, because we usually don't do like decorations and stuff in the house, because we usually go do something. And so this time I ordered stuff so I can decorate the house, so he'll be totally surprised. So I'll do it like after he goes to bed the night before. So
Yeah.
try to make it fun.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I love it.
I also realized today that we haven't talked about Tiger King on this show. And I just watched yesterday with my injury, because I watched some extra TV yesterday, and I watched, there's like a follow-up episode. Have you seen this?
I didn't see it.
It wasn't like, it's not super great. It's only 30 minutes long and not like the best, but it's just, I don't understand. I understand the hype about the show because it's so insane, and it has like I don't even think anybody could think of that. Like all the elements, there's a throuple, there's this, there's this gay man the throuple that like convinces two straight men to marry him with meth and tigers, and then you've got, they all have some kind of weird cult going. You got the guy with all the, like, there's so much going on that I'm like, how did all of this like collide into this, alternate universe of insaneness
with tigers?
And but I feel like it's really so very sad. I feel so bad for the animals. Like the whole time I thought, I hope this brings some kind of awareness to these places like this. I don't think it will. But I hope that it does in some small way, because I'm like, just the poor animals that are suffering, that part made me terribly sad. But Joe Exotic, I've seen some of these things where people are like, oh, let's free Joe. I'm like, no, like he deserves to be in jail. And yes, Carol Baskin killed her husband, so she probably needs to go to
Carol
jail
deserves
too.
to be in jail. She's a marketing genius, that one. A twisted marketing genius.
And I don't know what was up with those fucking cages that her tigers are in, with those tiny little thing that they put their head in to eat. And I'm like, how is this? What is happening? Why are people all enraged for those reasons?
How about those volunteers? That marketing idea to get those volunteers. She doesn't pay anybody a cent. That woman has so much money. She's filthy rich.
I know.
And she's master manipulated volunteers and tiers that, oh, if you do it for 1 year, you get a purple shirt. And if you hang around for 2 years, you get a gold shirt. Master fucking manipulator. Genius. Absolutely genius.
It's so crazy.
It's fucked up.
They're all so crazy.
You're a good person.
Yeah. No. They're all like insane.
And the people love it. Those volunteers were like, we are so happy. We're going to do this forever. I'm like, idiots. We never, for Christmas, right? They take their holidays off. I'm like, oh yeah, we sacrifice not spending time with our family and having Christmas to be here.
Yeah, it's very cultish, for real. Like they're all these separate little cults around big cats. I don't know.
And Doc Antle.
Yeah, him with all his women. Yeah, I'm telling you. Did you see that back in the day, whenever Britney Spears was like, I don't even know what she was singing, but back when she was always everywhere with the snake in the concerts, and somebody found that there was an old clip where she did some concert, or maybe it was one of the award shows or something, where she's like dancing with the snake, and he is in the background on the stage with a tiger. The Dawn guy.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, unbelievable. A whole hidden world.
Yeah. It's so crazy.
Or at least one I didn't know existed.
Yeah.
It's not
it's a crazy, crazy show. Another crazy show that I have watched that's actually really good is Unorthodox. Have you watched that yet?
I watched about 15 minutes of the first episode and then I stopped.
Oh, it's really good. It's really good.
Okay.
There's only 4 episodes in it.
Oh, there is.
Yeah. Yeah. And in the end, I did feel a little bit like, I wanted a little more closure than I got, but I still thought it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea about how that community worked necessarily. And I didn't realize like how tight and, closed mouth and stuff was in that community.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
So you got any ideas of what's going to happen next with this pandemic?
Well, Meredith Grey is going to cure us all. That's going to happen like the meme says. I have no idea what's going to happen. I feel like I just saw earlier, and I don't know if this is true, but some article on, I don't know, online or something, it said something about colleges looking at potentially not having in-person classes until 2021.
I heard that too.
And, I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I can't think about things in that long of terms necessarily right now.
Mm-hmm.
I still have to kind of just piece it. But I'm also at the same time, I feel like we here where we're at specifically, we're in this holding pattern, right? Because we're in stay-at-home orders till the 26th. So we've got a little bit of time. But I'm reached that point of, I just want to know, like, what's the next step? I just want you to tell me what the next step is. And so then I can like be prepared. Cause like when we got the stay at home order, it was like, oh, okay. So we have a month. Like I know what my next month looks like. And so now it's coming to the end of that. And I'm like, I need you to tell me what the next month's going to look like, just so I know.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, it's going to be real interesting because one by one, these states, so something called the CARES Act has been passed, and each state has to implement the portal, well, different portals to get money from this package. Well, if you have filed for unemployment, certain states have already implemented the portal. Colorado is about to implement it. There's a portal that if you filed for unemployment, you can then go into this portal for the CARES Act and apply to get an additional $600 a week for 13 weeks if you file for unemployment. And I'm thinking that's $2,400 a month on top of whatever unemployment they're getting. This is going to be real interesting. No one's going to be looking for jobs, or at least if unemployment is requiring people to look for jobs, they're certainly not going to take any jobs.
Yeah, I don't know how it's all going to work.
So this is going to be, and with how many unemployed? 260 million unemployed people, and they're getting this additional $600 for 13 weeks. I don't know. And business owners don't have access to that, but that's going to be real interesting. People aren't going to take jobs because why not get free money from the government? Yeah, they're going to have to pay taxes on it next year, but for 13 weeks, that's how long is that? That's another 3-4 months.
Yeah. I don't know.
No one will need to leave their house. So I don't know. That's real interesting to me because I'm thinking, they're trying to get people to perhaps be quiet. You're in your house. You got money now so that we can continue the social distancing thing.
Yeah. Well, I think, I guess we need to, and they just don't want people to freak out. You see some of these places where they're having these marches, like in Michigan, and these people are protesting and people are starting to get really angry. That's the part that scares me is the anger, which I get, like I understand the fact that there are a lot of people really, really struggling that, I don't know what all the answers are. Yeah. And I think sometimes, like, how bizarre is it that we are even talking? Like, would you have even believed anybody 2 months ago if they would have been like, hey, this is what's going to be happening in your life? And like, what the hell is happening right now?
I know. It is. I will look at Travis every once in a while and I'll look at him and say, can you believe this is happening? Is this really happening?
I know. Well, and that's the thing is like, it will nothing will be normal until there's like a vaccine, right? Like it can't be completely,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, like you and I were talking the other day, restaurants, right? What are they going to slowly open, but then only 10 people at a time, and they have to be 4, parties apart, 4 tables apart. And then, gosh, these poor restaurants, and oh, there's Laura.
There's Laura. Hi, Laura.
Hi, Laura.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Oh my gosh, look at you. You look fabulous. You look great.
Took a shower today. Woo!
We were just talking about that.
Isn't that funny?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, my husband was giving me a hard time because he was like, you just changed out of one sweatshirt to another one. I was like, but I put a bra on.
Yeah, so.
Exactly. That's my definition of getting up. If I put a bra on, then I'm dressed up, right? Totally. That's what we've come to.
Right.
And I thought, I should put jeans on. And then I said, forget it. I'm going to just put my pajama pants on. They'll never see it.
Yeah, well, I've got my workout gear going on, but since I worked out this morning, I did take a shower. So I'm feeling really proud of myself.
Oh, that's nice. Yes. Well, you look great.
Yeah, so glad you're here. So glad you're joining us. It's a pleasure to meet you, as they say.
Is that what they say?
It is. It's too bad we can't meet in person, but we're close enough that it'll happen sometime anyway.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And did you call it
feather boa? Wait a second. Is there a feather boa behind you right now?
There is my feather boa. My leopard. I have my tiara.
I love it. Yes. Oh, I just love it. I need a feather boa. I know I have props. Some of these Zoom meetings, I've been like putting tinsel wigs on with my heart-shaped glasses. I'm sorry. I saw the boa and I got really
No, and this is a good boa too. This is like one of the real burlesque custom boas. So it's extra puffy. It's not, and it doesn't shed.
It's that's nice.
So fun to play with.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, so
Sorry,
since we already went there with the boas and the burlesque, we were just talking a second ago, and I was like, how does one get into that? How do you wake up and be like, I think I'm going to try that? And where do you get the courage to do that?
Yeah. It was kind of happenstance for me. I always danced growing up. So I love dance. And I was, a cheerleader in college, and I just love moving and dancing. But then as an adult, you don't dance. You know what I mean? Like, who has the time to dance? And this pole studio had one of those Groupons. I tell the story in my book. It's really funny. They had this Groupon special, like 3 pole dances, dance classes. And I bought the Groupon and I fell in love with it. It felt so good to dance again. But their schedule changed and I had 2 kids in school. And the only class that was available was a burlesque class. And I'm like, what the heck's burlesque? Okay. So I took the class. I took that class for 1 month. And then one of my friends that I had met in that class was like, hey, do you want to audition for a burlesque troupe? And I ended up auditioning and I made it. And a month after, I was dancing in Vegas. So
how long have you been doing that for?
Let's see. I started when I was 44 and I'm 51. So
wow, awesome.
Yeah. So there wasn't a lot of thought. There wasn't a lot of planning. It just rolled.
Wow. What a great story.
And so you danced burlesque in Vegas?
I did.
Like a Vegas showgirl? Would you say that you were a Vegas showgirl? Is that category?
I danced one show there for like one weekend show. And then I've danced at the House of Blues in New Orleans. Yeah, I danced in Hawaii. That was my favorite. I've danced all over, but they're just the single shows. Routine, yeah. I dance at the Clock Tower on 16th Street Mall down here.
Yes, I've been to that great show. It's so fun. Yes. And the Clock Tower is so beautiful and it's so, Gatsby, like I just love it. We'll have to go, Lisa.
I know.
That's great to know that you dance there. We'd love to see you. Support
although
you.
Now who knows what's going on.
I know. How are you doing?
I'm doing good with it. I've got one son in college who moved home and I'm enjoying him being at home.
And what have
Yeah.
you been doing during quarantine?
I do so much of my work online anyway that not a lot has changed, but I have been cleaning more.
I wish I could say the same.
And I saw you have a virtual book club going on right now due to COVID. Would you tell us a little more about that and tell us about your book?
Yay! Yeah, the virtual book club has been pretty fun. We just get together once a week, and we're doing my book right now, which is nice because I was supposed to write a reader's guide, and it's outrageously difficult to write a reader's guide for your own book. Because I'm like, what do people want to know? What do they want to talk? I don't know. So it's been really helpful to just sit with other people and be like, okay, what do you want to hear more about? Because I don't know. So it's been fun. It's been really fun. And then we do champagne tips every week. So every week we get to learn something else about champagne. So it's been a lot of fun.
That's real fun. And the name of your book is FLAUNT.
FLAUNT, drop your cover and reveal your smart, sexy, and spiritual self.
I love that. That is like, it hits everything that I'm interested in. And FLAUNT is an acronym as well, right? Would you tell us what that acronym is?
Yes, it's find your fetish, laugh out loud, accept unconditionally, navigate the negative, and trust in your truth.
I just love that. I think that's so great. And it's just immediately, I was drawn in, right? I thought, oh, okay, like this sounds like women empowerment, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's forget about the stereotypes. Let's just be ourselves. And I got really excited to see that this book, because I didn't know about it.
Oh,
and I love that you're like this advocate for beauty and brains, right?
Yes.
Not one or the other.
Yes. Yeah, because we truly we can be everything. And I feel like what really interrupts our happiness is that judgment around ourselves, that I can't do this and what will people think, and oh my gosh, I can't look this way and I can't wear that, and I can't express myself too clearly or I'll be seen as a bitch, or we're always limiting ourselves. And really, every woman that I've ever met is absolutely beautiful, absolutely brilliant, and is very connected to her truth and to the beauty of the world and to taking care of her friends and her family. And women are amazing, and we limit ourselves.
Yeah. And I was watching, it was one of your YouTube videos, and maybe it was the most recent one about the COVID what we can be doing now. And the word vulnerability came up, and that when we show the world who we really are, it opens up that area of vulnerability for us. You worded it so beautifully, and you named a couple other things like I think you mentioned just like it sets us up to possibly be rejected, right? And that bravery, that courage that comes from like literally taking off our clothes, right?
Yes.
But then I was thinking, like, there is definitely part of me that I want to be a pole dancer. I've always wanted to dance on that pole.
Oh, it's so much fun.
And I just want to be who I am. I want to be able to post pictures on Instagram and feel really good about it, if I'm in my bikini, and I love that you are shining the light on uncovering the brilliance of joy and being a woman, no matter what is going on.
Yes. Thank you. Because yes, we get so locked into, I can only show myself if I look a certain way, and I can only do this or I'm not a good girl if I do, this, that, or the other thing. And it's like, no, we're all of that. And I think it's fun to move into our beauty. And I think we're all beautiful in our own way. It's only when we try to be beautiful by somebody else's terms that we start getting weird.
And what would you recommend? How do we and I know obviously reading your book, but overcoming these things. How do we as women in the world overcome what we're talking about?
Right. The 5 steps of FLAUNT really help with that. However, the precursor to kind of getting into the 5 steps of FLAUNT is recognizing and releasing your labels, your roles, and your scripts. And the labels are anything that other people have told you. You know, you're the funny one, you're the lazy one, you're the fat one, you're the skinny one, all of those things. Because oftentimes when we're labeled, we live up to those labels. And even though it's not true, we will do our best to live up to it subconsciously. So when we can start recognizing, my dad always said I was high maintenance. My mom always said I was selfish. My teachers always said, is that true for me? And we put some of that conscious thought around it and then release it. It helps us know who we are a little bit more. And same thing with roles. We fill all of these roles: wife, mom, friend, employee, boss, whatever it is. How do we learn to play those roles? Well, we learn by looking at other people. We don't ever create that role from within. We don't say, oh, this is how I want to be a mom based on who I am and who my kids are. Or this is, even with a partnership, we have this box of what marriage looks like. Well, that box of marriage might not work for you and your partner. So that's that role, breaking out of those roles and identifying what works for you. And then similarly, the script is that idea that we've got going on in our head about the way things should work. You should go to high school. You should go to college. You should get a job. You should get a house and have a dog and 2.5 kids. And it's a script. And is that the script you wrote, or is it the script that you're living out? And once you can really break out of those labels, rules, and scripts, then you have an identity crisis.
Yeah.
But that's where you start tuning into what is going on within you. And then you can start revealing, this is what I want. This is what I think. This is what matters. These are my core values. And that's when we can start asserting ourselves, not in an obnoxious way, but just in a, hey, this is who I am.
Yeah. It's like shedding a skin almost, a couple of skins.
Absolutely. Which is where the burlesque comes in. Take off the jacket, take off the layers, take off the coat, take off all of that, and it'll be perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you talk about releasing, it makes me think of letting go, right? Yes. How do you let go of old habits, of old, with stinking thinking?
Mm-hmm. It's hard and it's not hard at the same time. Everything starts in our head and then moves into our heart. So when we realize it up here and we start going, oh, that's how my grandma did it. Oh, that's how somebody else did it. We can wrap our brain around it and then allow it to sink into our body, sink into our heart. And I think that's where the how starts coming in. How, and that is again where those 5 steps of FLAUNT, that first step of FLAUNT is finding your fetish. So it doesn't work for you. You let it sink into your body. You start revealing what I want is. And that's that fetish piece. The fetish, it's such a loaded word and it's such a fun word, which is why I like to use it. But really, a fetish is just feeling good in your body, in yourself. And a fetish can be turning on some music and dancing one song. A fetish can be brushing your hair because it feels really good and slowing down and putting lotion on and rubbing your hands. So that is that first part of it, is finding your fetish, finding who you are inside, and just choosing in little tiny increments to do what is right for you to do.
And then
did you have like a
oh, sorry, Lisa.
Oh, that's okay. Did you have something that came up in your life that kind of put you in this trajectory to realize like maybe you weren't on the path that you thought you wanted to be on, and you decided, hey, let me take a look at myself and let me do these things? Like, did something happen?
A lot of little things kind of happened along the way. When I was still in law school, it was my very first case as a student attorney. And as a student attorney, you've got your advisors that are helping you. And it's a real it's a real scary thing. It's your first time in court, but you've got your advisors. I won my case. I did a ton of research. I literally did everything perfect, and I out-lawyered opposing counsel, and I won my case. And my advisor is like, "You're brilliant. This is amazing. This is wonderful." And the judge called me into his chambers and he berated me. And he said, "How dare you have the nerve to win that case? Do you know who your opposing counsel was?" And it was like, whoa, this isn't about justice. This isn't about who works hard and who deserves it. This is about you being mad that a young female law student won a case against one of your old cronies. That's what this is about.
Unbelievable.
Oh, it was absolutely unbelievable. And that was 93. I mean, it's not, this is not the 1950s that was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the most egregious example, but there kept being things like that would show up in my life. And I think, wait a minute, you're judging me based on what I'm wearing. You don't care what I'm saying. Or you're judging me based on something else, and that doesn't matter. It's the proverbial judging the book by the cover. And it was my sense of justice was pretty strong, hence why I went to law school. But it was like, that's not right, and that's not okay. And I figured I could really spend my life fighting it and pushing back against it, or I could lean into it and be like, yeah, you think that? Let me show you otherwise. So that's really where FLAUNT started developing a life of its own.
And do you work with other women, or have you worked with other women to help teach them these different kinds of skills?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When I left the law, I knew I wanted to do something different and lean into that and create change, but I wasn't exactly sure how or what that looked like. So I started kind of experimenting with different modalities, and I went back to school and I became a hypnotherapist. I started personal training, and I learned a couple of different forms of energy work and intuitive work. And I just created this modality of FLAUNT on my own because it hits body, mind, spirit. And I literally said to my kids' friends' moms and my former colleagues and coworkers, if you've got a problem, come see me. I just want to experiment and see if this works. Well, it absolutely worked. And I found that across the board, whether they were stay-at-home moms that had never had a job, they were stay-at-home moms that were formerly professional women, or they were C-suite, pretty high-end executive women, all women struggled with feeling like they had this need to please, feeling like they had to judge themselves and that they were judged by others all the time, and feeling like they couldn't express themselves fully or something bad was going to happen. So yeah, I have worked with hundreds of women, and that's kind of the common denominator. And through this work, through the combination of modalities, through the 5 steps of FLAUNT, through all of that, I have made a real significant difference in a lot of their thinking and processing. I take no credit for what they do after, but I do just help them shift that lens around and break out of that box so they can do whatever it is that they want to do. And it's all vastly different for everybody.
I love that. It's so interesting, isn't it, that, and especially as we've been doing this podcast and talking to so many different women, and how it's very easy for us all to be intimidated by each other. But when we just kind of break down and get a little vulnerable and actually start talking to each other, no matter what we look like, what our job is, all of these different things, we're all so much the same in the core of it. The feelings are all very much the same.
Yeah.
And I think it's just so special that, for us as women to be able to realize that, and that I can look at someone else and be like, maybe they're acting a certain way because they're in fear of me judging them. And I'm over here in fear of them judging me. And if we just open up and talk, then everything would be okay. We'll realize that we're both full of insecurities.
Yes, so much. Yes, that is exactly it. And I think it's so much worse for women because we are historically, we have been kind of the underdog. And instead of banding together and rising, sometimes we don't know, should I compete with another woman? And is she going to judge me? And then we look at the media and we're like, I'm not size 2 and my hips don't look like that and my boobs don't look like that and my hair doesn't look like that and my house doesn't look like that. And then, yeah, we just get in our heads, but we're all in our heads and we all want that connection. And yeah, that's where I think that vulnerability comes in, when we can all say, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to parent my way through this. I don't know what's going on with my partner. I feel old. I feel ugly. I feel out of shape. Just express it. It's not a whiny seeking to please, but you're right. We all feel old and ugly and tired and worn out and confused. And so talk about it.
I love that. Do you also teach burlesque dancing?
I do. It's so much fun. And a lot of times I don't teach burlesque as in, like, there's a lot of studios around that teach burlesque classes. I do mine a little bit differently because I like to incorporate that emotional piece. And I like to have a reason behind it. There can be burlesque for the sake of just dancing burlesque because it's fun. But what I really encourage women to do, and I've got this exercise in my book too, is dress in their persona. Dress as they show up in the world. If you are a nurse and you're wearing scrubs, if you are, a kindergarten teacher, if you are whatever it is, make a caricature of who you are and have that costume on the outside. And then find something that represents who you are on the inside and build that costume too. And then I'm stripping out of my power suit. I'm stripping out of my house cleaning gloves and exposing my tender heart, my powerful self, whatever it is that you want to expose. And I teach it in terms of putting more emotion and identity.
It reminds me of this saying, freedom from the bondage of self. And I'm like, ooh, that sounds intriguing. It sounds exciting. And it sparked something in me. I realized that I get that feeling when I do a lot of yoga. And there are certain poses, because now I'm like, oh yeah, there's actual pose called mermaid pose. And it's very beautiful, and you're moving into the pose, and I'm like, "Ooh, I feel so good," And I'm like, "Look at this! Like, my body can do this. This is amazing," because sometimes I don't stop to think, like, "Wow, I have this body, and it's doing these things, and it's like it's its own entity, And I love this idea from the head to the heart, right? What a great thing! What a great thing to even think about. So cool. I love it. I love this. This is exciting.
Oh, good.
I have to ask. So you said you have 2 kids or one?
2
and
boys.
So one is 2 boys. College? Are they both in college?
Yes. 21 and 22.
And how do they feel about mom doing burlesque? And have you taught them that yes, because this is where we get, because I'm a mom too. I have 2 boys also.
Got it.
And you get in that, like the mom thing of like, oh, well, mom she's not sexy, or she doesn't do this, or what I mean? You have your role, and
yes,
like teaching them that I am more than mom. Like I am a whole fraction of many different parts. And like, how did that come about for you and your family?
Yes. Thank you for asking that, because I think it is so important to address. It was a fairly natural progression. I always wanted to be open with them. I always wanted to, keep the lines of communication open and not put shame around bodies, anybody's body, mine or them. And obviously I was appropriate around them, but when your kids like walk in or something, I wouldn't be like, ah! So I tried to be open with that. And then when I started doing burlesque, I would be practicing the routines, fully clothed, but they knew I was dancing. But then I started building the costume pieces, which would be like the pretty bras and the thong underwear and things like that. And I'd be putting the rhinestones on it. And it was interesting because as I was doing that, it would be like on the kitchen counter. So there's pasties, there's underwear, and they would say, oh, what's that? That's really pretty. And I would just say, oh, this is part of my costume. And what I do is here's the outer layer and this is what goes on inside. And burlesque is a parody. And can you see a lady's boobs? Is that okay? And they'd be like, no. And I'd be like, but can we see your boobs? Yes. Why is there a difference? I don't know. That's funny. It is funny. That's what burlesque is about. It's about making fun of that. So, I would let them in on the conversation and in on kind of that joke. And then the same thing. Do you have a body? Yes. Do I have a body? Yes. Does dad have a body? Yes. We cover our bodies, but we take showers naked. So is there something wrong with a naked body? No, not at all. Do we do that in public? No, we don't do that in public. But, so we would just kind of have those conversations around it. And then as they got older, this is where it was really fascinating to me. They get to middle school and high school where girls are a thing. And their friends would completely lose it if a girl's underwear showed or if her bra strap fell out. And the friends couldn't function. Oh, look at her. And what is she all about? And my boys would be like, it's underwear. Oh my gosh, get over it. And they were extra respectful, I think, towards girls and towards non-judgment. And when their friends would be over and they'd be like, oh, she's easy. My boys would be like, why? Because she had a strapless shirt on? What does that matter? So I actually think it helped them be able to see beneath the surface and to not get distracted by sexy clothing or bra straps or the tops of thongs.
I love that. And I love this conversation around how everything doesn't have to, something can be sensual or be sexy, and it doesn't have to be sexualized. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like, you are sexualizing that and making that into something bad. Like, they have no idea. And it's just, it's so interesting how our culture has done that. It's, like exactly what you said, like just because a girl has no straps on her shirt doesn't mean like, oh, I'm trying, sexualize me. And like, that means I want to have sex or whatever, and it's just so that you can still have these things and be, show them these things, talk to them openly and realistically, and it doesn't make them over-sexualized human beings. It actually does the opposite.
Absolutely the opposite, which is really interesting because they're not fazed by it. And same thing, when I would come home from a show, I'm in hair, I'm in makeup, I have lashes, I'm still mom.
Right.
I can wear my flannel pajamas and have my glasses and my hair in a ponytail, or I can have on stilettos and a really sexy outfit, and I'm still mom. My clothes don't change who I am.
Yeah, totally. I love that. Where did you get all this confidence? Have you always had this, or did this come from, I know you had mentioned before, you're an only grandchild. I mean, did this confidence come from being an only child?
It's interesting because I do have confidence, and there's been so many times where I've lost my confidence too. And I don't necessarily call it confidence. My term for it is naked self-worth, because I do feel naked self-worth is the ability to value yourself for who you are inside, not for what you produce, not for what you do in relationship to other people, but for who you are inside. And I have really worked to cultivate that, because there have been many times in my life where I have been unfairly judged, and then it takes me down. And, as a lawyer, you have to bill a certain number of hours or you're not good enough. And it's like, yes, I am good enough. And I've had some really tough things in my life where I've really had to disentangle myself and my worth from what's happening around me. And to really stay focused on this is mine and this is yours. And what's happening with you and what you're saying to me doesn't really have anything to do with me. It shines a light on who you are. And I call it that naked self-worth, but it's also a part of standing in my truth and trying not to conflate my inner worth with what I look like or how much education I have or what you think of me or what my house looks like or anything like that. And when I'm very clear on that, then my confidence is high. And when I start losing that, that's when things really tank.
I can relate with that.
Yep.
Isn't that funny how that works, right? Because you think, oh, let's boost up the ego some more, like you were saying, like with the materialistic or the degree or the house or something. And that is when my self-confidence also goes down. It's when, just like you were talking about, that self-worth, naked self-worth.
Yeah.
What a beautiful thing. I love that. Instead of confidence, I have naked self-worth. Ooh, it's empowering.
Yeah,
And I know that our listeners are also going to feel empowered with this. This is really great interview. I'm just loving it.
Yay.
Have you been practicing dancing during quarantine?
Absolutely. I try to dance every day, not because I should, but because I like it. I can get really locked in, to sitting here working and to doing things like that. And I really find that when I turn on a song and just do a dance break or do some choreography, it helps. And in the middle of all of this, I run a dance troupe, which is so much fun for women of all ages, sizes, and abilities. And it's sort of like a dance troupe pom squad for adults. And we just dance and we have so much fun. And during this whole thing, I thought, you know what? We need some new choreography. And I love choreographing. So every, hour, I'd set my alarm on my phone and I'd get up and I'd just do an 8 count of choreography and then put it on video and send it out to people and be like, go dance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm sure people love that.
It's so fun.
It's so great to be inspired by others, especially right now in a time where people may not feel very inspired.
Right. Oh, right.
Yeah, I know you talked about this a little bit, but this word of being a life choreographer, you came up with this. I've never heard that before, and I think that's brilliant, right? A life coach, sure, I've heard of that, but a life choreographer, now that sounds cool.
Yeah.
So is that part of your business? What is a life choreographer? What's that? What can you tell us about that?
Yes, absolutely. That is what I do. That is definitely the heart and soul of my business. What is different between a coach and a choreographer in my mind is a coach is like, yeah, do this. And they kind of help you do things. And it's like, okay, you can have your pitching coach and your catching coach and your whatever, and they can help you with that one little thing. But a choreographer takes everything that is, and they help you bring it together to create a cohesive, beautiful dance with meaning and purpose. If you sit down and you watch a dance, it evokes an emotion. It's evocative. It's beautiful. It takes into consideration the talent of the dancers, the costuming, the lights, the stage, the number of people's on the stage. It takes into consideration everything that is, and it brings it together. And I think that's really where my gift lies. It's not, because I could coach you and be like, yeah, go do this, but it might not really be all that you need. Like for a while, so many people were coming to me as a hypnotherapist for weight loss and stop smoking. Those are the two biggies that everybody wants.
Yep.
Let me tell you, weight loss is rarely about what you eat and how you exercise. There's layers of this deep emotional stuff. So many of the women that I worked with for weight loss had sexual abuse stories. Mm-hmm. It's the emotions around it. It's the beliefs around it. It's the mindset around it. So that's why, like a coach, I could coach you on your exercise and I could coach you on your eating, but it's not going to address that you're trying to put on weight to keep people away from you because, when you were 4 years old, you were molested. And same thing with stop smoking. It's rarely about a nicotine addiction. It's about everything else. And smoking is the manifestation of everything else.
Yep.
So that's where the life choreography happens, is it's taking all the things that are and figuring it out.
That is an absolutely beautiful way to put that. And what a cool way to explore, and I love the vices, right? They're just a symptom of what's really going on underneath. And that is what we need to take a look at and do that house cleaning.
Yes.
That's
every
great.
time. It's never about what you think it's about.
Isn't that true? Isn't that true? Have you ever seen the feelings wheel?
Yes, exactly.
That's what I think of I'm familiar with the feelings wheel, and I think, okay, well, I'm feeling this, and then we look, and there's another layer, and then there's another layer, and it's usually, there's like 4 or 5 different actual feelings that are the core feelings. Fear, selfishness, dishonesty, happiness, true happiness, joy, right? Could be the other, disbelief that, but isn't that something else? But what a beautiful and creative way to really think about that and that kind of work. I think that's just brilliant. Real, very, very smart. Very, very smart.
Thank you.
Where can people find your book? Is it out right now for everyone to go out and get, or order on Amazon or whatever, however we can get it now?
It's literally everywhere. Amazon, Tattered Cover, Barnes and Noble. It's even on Target and Walmart. So it's
that's awesome.
Yeah, and what's even better about it is it's an audiobook and a digital book. So you don't even have to, have the freak out of, oh my gosh, will somebody touch it who has COVID?
And if people want to connect with you one-on-one or social media, where can they find you these days?
A couple of different places. I'm definitely on Facebook, and I have a private Facebook community called the FLAUNT Flock. And that's a lot of fun because it is private. So then people can start talking about, sharing their vulnerabilities, talking about this process, what's hard, what's easy. People can find me there. Also, my website is Lora Cheadle, and it's Lora, which is a different way to spell Lora. Lora at loracheadle.com is my email, and then just loracheadle.com.
Awesome. And we'll make sure I include links on our website for you too.
Oh, that'd be good. Because I have I have a really fun, on my website. If you go there, you get a free lap dancing class, an increasing your intuition worksheet, and a meditation download on creating one positive habit.
Oh, great.
Oh, those are what perfect things to work on right now too. We're all that's amazing.
Oh yeah. Download your bundle of joy. I'm going to sign up right now.
Thank you so much for talking with us, Lora. It was really awesome to virtually meet you. And hopefully, once all this is over, we'll be able to, I don't know, maybe we'll have to have some kind of get together or something to have all our virtual guests so we can meet them in person one day.
Yeah, that would be so fun because it was so nice to virtually meet you too. But yeah, I'm close enough. Let's meet and play.